Hi, I'm LunaPienart. Thank you all for waiting. Today I'll be diving into analysis of the chapter 1136 from the Japanese version. Let's read together. Delve into topic of Nika as passed down in Elbaf, something I'm sure many of you are curious about. In this chapter, it was revealed that the world of One Piece has been destroyed twice, and on each occasion, the existence of Nika had been etched into story. This implies that there was another world-ending event even earlier than the one that sank the world into the sea 800 years ago, like Vegapunk mentioned. Do you know that by reading the Japanese version, you can get a clearer idea of the era when Nika might have been born? This is hinted at in this chapter's cover story. Yeah, in the Wano Kuni's cover story with Yamato. In this story, Yamato and the others visit what appears to be Fu's hideout. It seems Oda-sensei includes this to remind readers of Fu, the character who first mentioned the name Sangot Nika. This was also when Nika's silhouette was first shown, accompanied by the Fu's explanation. 太古の昔に奴隷たちがいつか自分たちを救ってくれると信じた戦士だそうだ。A warrior whom slaves in the ancient times believed would one day come to save them. 実在したのか妄想か、人を笑わせ、苦悩から解放してくれる戦士。Whether he was real or imagined, he was said to bring laughter and free people from the suffering. In Japanese version, the term 太古 is used here. 太古の昔に blah blah blah. How to read Taiko? Yeah, it's very simple. I'll show you with this whiteboard. This is Taiko. Yeah, that Fu mentioned that in this phrase. But this word refers to very ancient time and its meaning can vary widely. It can describe the Paleolithic era, the time of Earth's early life, mythological and legendary times, the age of dinosaurs, or even the formation of the Earth itself. However, it's not typically used to describe events as recent as 800 years ago. For something from 800 years ago, Japanese typically uses terms like 何百年前 or はるか昔. Therefore, we can infer that this word, taiko, refers to far more distant past. This suggests that even 800 years ago, Nika was already considered a legendary figure from an ancient time. And in One Piece, the word taiko has been used on the two other occasions. First is the mural Enel discovered on the moon, fairy birth. And second is the dinosaur-inhabited island of the Little Garden. This adds weight to the idea that Nika's existence ties back an era much older than the event of 800 years ago, cementing him as a figure from the distant past, deeply rooted in legend. I'm not entirely sure about the exact history of the Blue Planet in One Piece, but it seems likely that the people from the moon were the earliest to live among the humans. By the way, the title of the cover story where Enel observed the moon's mirrors is 壁画に学ぶ太古に生きた翼を持った人. The winged people who lived in ancient times as learned from the mirrors. Yes. It's revealed that the people of the moon migrated to the blue planet due to the lack of resources. This opened up the possibility that the legend of the Sangot Nika, which was significant to them, was passed down to the inhabitants of the blue planet. I once theorized that Nika might have been a Lunarian. Yeah, this is 2 years ago on another channel, and perhaps it's worth revising that idea. Additionally, the Mink tribe transforms into their Sulon form when they see the full moon. It's possible that this reaction is tied to their bitter memories of being enslaved on the moon. In fact, until Enel arrived, the fairyverse contained an ancient city that seems to have been designed with electricity in mind. It's conceivable that the Mink tribe was reasonable for generating that electricity possible for us to work like slaves. If that were the case, Nika might have been a warrior from the Mink tribe who fought for their liberation. In any case, one possibility remains. The original Nika could have some connection to the people of the moon. There's another group that might have existed during humanity's earliest days. Yeah, the ancient giants or normal giants. It's likely that the ancient giant's lifespan is similar to that of the giants, around 300 years or more. If so, it wouldn't be surprising if they lived alongside the people of the moon in the ancient times. In fact, the legend of Nika is passed down in Elbaf, the village of giants. And the chapter 1136 was also revealed that Oz was fearsome warrior from the giant race. Elbaf itself is a nation built around the treasure tree Adam, one of the largest trees on the blue planet. And its towering peaks reach as high as the clouds. It's possible that when the people of the moon arrived on the blue planet, they interacted with the giants living there and introduced HARLEY, a sacred scripture recording their worship of Nika. There's a popular theory in the community that there are two Nika figures, but I don't think that's the case. Instead, I believe there was an original Nika-like figure, in the ancient time. This individual likely freed people while laughing, inspiring those who witnessed it to pass down the legend. By the time of Void's century, there would have been numerous interpretations of Nika, leading to the various depictions we see. One of those interpretations is Nika without sword or spears that Luffy or Joy Boy transformed into. I think someone who imagined this version of Nika created the Gomu Gomu no Mi in the past. For deeper explanation of this theory, check out this video on the Dawn Dusk, my another channel. It seems Nika has interpreted in many ways, such as the god of liberation, god of destruction, and god of laughter. Warai no kami, Hakai no kami, and Kaihou no kami. These different interpretations likely stem from variations in the translation of the HARLEY scripture, as well as from the perspective of the people at that time. In fact, Yarl provides this explanation. その時々の権力者たちはニカの出現を恐れるのだ. This translates directly to the rulers of the time fear the appearance of Nika. This fear applies not only the current world government, but also those who ruled the world in the past. To the rulers of any era, Nika presents the god of destruction. In Japanese, Hakai no kami. As Madame Shari prophesies on the Fishman Island, Luffy also carries the potential to become a god of destruction. However, this doesn't only imply destruction, it undoubtedly includes the idea of tearing down the current world to create a new one. This is new era. Incidentally, the words written in the HARLEY scripture are said to be an ancient language, making them difficult to translate. Whether this language is the same as the ancient script is unclear. Personally, I see two possibilities. It could be the language of the moon civilization, as I mentioned, or the script used in the rituals on the Namakura Island. Determining whether it's even a script is tricky, but there are symbols resembling writing depicted on the moon's rulers. If Nika's legend originated during the time of the moon people, it wouldn't be surprising if the HARLEY scripture featuring this script was passed down to the giants. Now we'll discuss the tale of Loki. According to Yarl, both Loki and Harald struggle to become like Nika. Loki in particular is said to have caused some outrageous mischief in Elbaf. Did you notice something here? That exact pose. One hand on the head, the other clutching the stomach while laughing, is identical to Luffy's posture when he was first awakened as Nika. Interestingly, this pose often accompanies mischievous or playful attacks. This raises the possibility that Nika had a mischievous side, and what's described as world-destroying might have simply been one of Nika's grand pranks. It's plausible that Loki, inspired by this, engaged in his own series of mischiefs across Elbaf. Yarl later addressed Loki's action and seems to defend him. Notably, when Luffy asked if Loki was a good guy, Yarl doesn't outright say, "There's no way he's a good guy." A key moment to consider the situation with Linlin. When Linlin killed Yoru, Yarl was about to retaliate and kill her, but was stopped by Mother Carmel. If something similar had occurred with Loki, who is said to have killed the King Harald, it's strange that Loki wasn't immediately executed when captured. This suggests there's a secret between Yarl and Loki that only they know. One giant claims that Loki stabbed Yarl when he tried to stop Loki, but Yarl also says, "I was saved by my helmet." However, if you observe Yarl's expression closely, you'll notice that he averts his gaze. As many of you know, in One Piece, characters who are bad at lying often avert their eyes when they are hiding something. This suggests that the person who stabbed Yarl wasn't Loki, but someone else entirely. There's a possibility worth considering here. Loki and Yarl might have joined forces to kill Harald. According to Ripley, Harald's policies focus more on trade with other nations rather than warfare, which clashed with the elders of villages who valued tradition. As we see in the final page of this chapter, Elbaf's culture still holds a strong sense of pride in being warriors. Yeah, this is Loki. This suggests that Yarl's fundamental beliefs may have been closer to Loki. Yeah, it's possible that two of them worked together to oppose Harald's policies and fought to put an end to them. Yeah, interestingly, the sword struck in Yarl's head bears a resemblance to the one Harald was known to wield. That brings us back to the theory I mentioned in the another video, the possibility that Harald was working with the world government. The giants have often been portrayed as easily deceived. For instance, Dory mistook the bomb planted by Gardino for some setup by the Straw Hats. Oimo and Cassie were tricked with the false promise and forced to guard Enies' lobby. Even Carmel deceived the giants of Elbaf and established a connection between the giants and the world government. The giants may not have realized how they were being weakened over time. If the giants were to become more docile, the world government would eliminate the troublesome military force and continue to manipulate the Elbaf giants using their cunning strategies. It seems likely that Loki realized what Harald was planning and decided to kill him. Yeah, Loki once said, "If you don't completely crush someone you let go, they'll come back for revenge." Perhaps Harald summons the Knights of God to Ol's castle, aiming to eliminate the troublesome Elbas and awaken Elbaf from within. This could have led to the scenario where Loki and Yarl fought against Harald and the Knights of God. In the end, they may have managed to kill Harald, but the Knights of God escaped. This experience might explain why Loki refers to the Knights of God as a trash. Yeah, in Japanese, gomikuzu. Yeah, I write here. Gomikuzu. Yeah. Gomi, first, these were two words combined with one word, as one word. Gomi means trash. Yeah, trash. And kuzu, scrap. Gomikuzu means, yeah, literally trash and scrap, but it means used as trash, just trash. Yeah, the term trash or scrap is used to insult others, gomikuzu. But in the context of One Piece, it carries heavier connotations. Loki is only the second character to use this term, gomikuzu, when referring to the Celestial Dragon. The first, of course, our Garp. By the way, there's a scene where Luffy, Zoro, and Nami are shown heading to Ol's castle with Road, but something feels off. Did you notice it? When compared to chapter 1132, it's clear that the door of the castle seems to have been forcibly broken open. This was likely done by two of the Knights of God, but there's also strong possibility that an informant within Elbaf's called them there. Now we have to analyze also Gunko. In the underworld, we see Gunko and the fruited man already present. Gunko's visual design was revealed this time, and to borrow Ro's words, it's quite striking in Japanese, 刺激的. Yeah. There seems to be some confusion with the translation of Gunko's name, so let me explain from the perspective of the Japanese version. Her name is Gunko, made up of two kanji. Yeah, I have to write here. Yeah, this kanji, Gunko. Yeah, it's really simple because the first gun means military. Yeah, this is military. And second one, the ko means child. When taken literally, but in names, it really contains that meaning. Yeah, in Japan, especially in the past, many women's names ended with ko. Yeah, while this naming trend has been declining recently, it was very common in earlier times. Yeah, names like Ayako, Kuniko, Minako, and Naoko, yeah, are just few examples. Yeah, you might know many Japanese women with names ending in ko. While military children, yeah, Gunko, could be a literal translation, but as a proper noun, yeah, it's best to simply refer to her as Gunko. There's been some discussion about her outfit. Yeah, with claims that it's a school uniform called gakuran. Have you ever heard? However, that's likely inaccurate. A typically gakuran has a single row of buttons down the front, Gunko's uniform, however, has two rows of buttons, which is more reminiscent of gunpuku. Yeah, the military uniform worn by soldiers. Yeah, this is appropriate in this case, gunpuku, because this kanji is used in this case. Yeah, this is Gunko. Yeah, this character's name. And gunpuku, fuku means clothes. Yeah, this is why this kanji, two kanji meanings like military uniform. Yeah, this suggests a deliberate semantic connection between her name and appearance. Anyway, there are some questions surrounding the name Gunko. Her name simply Gunko, which is unusual. Typically, celestial dragons have names with the suffix sei or gu. Have you ever heard? Yeah, I have to write that down. Okay. The first kanji is sei and second one is gu. Yeah, as I said, the celestial dragons have names with a suffix sei or gu attached, such as Nerona sei, or Shepherd Jupiter sei, or Sharuya gu, Sharos sei, something like that. However, her name lacks with this suffix. Yeah, Gunko. It's not Gunko sei or Gunko gu. Yeah, in this case, it's proper to use gu. Gunko gu. Sounds strange though. In this case, it's possible that Gunko is a just code name. However, another member of the Knights of God, Garing, was introduced with his full name, Figalan Garing Sei. Yeah, Saint Figalan Garing, which makes this detail stand out. Additionally, when Loki asked her directly if she was Celestial Dragon, she didn't give an answer, which adds to the suspicion. Gunko's purpose here is to recruit Loki into the Knights of God. This arises the possibility that Gunko herself was once recruited into the group in the same way. And there's another interesting story. There's probably a lot you all want to say about Gunko's outfit, but I personally find one particular connection quite amusing. It's about her panties. Yeah. The people of Namakura Island, influenced by Brook, mistakenly believed they could summon Satan, using panties in their rituals. This time, Gunko was summoned through the similar magic circle, and when she moved her roll, she was in her panties. Maybe the idea of summon with panties wasn't entirely wrong after all. And one more thing. For those who know, I'd love to hear your thoughts. That's Gunko's line. Hirei no Kiwami. Sounds familiar to anyone? Hirei no Kiwami. I couldn't help but laugh when she said it. Yeah, it's a reference to a meme that was popular in Japan. Now, finally, we have to talk about Loki's code of honor as a giant, as a warrior. Loki's philosophy might seem cold at first glance, but you can sense that he carries the pride of Elbaf warrior. This is similar to what Dory said when he suffered a severe injury from the bomb planted in his drink by Galdino. Running away from a battle once it began means running away from the name of warrior. If I am no longer a warrior, then I am no longer myself. Dory and Brogy have fought to the death for centuries, but they acknowledge each other as warriors and friends. It's because of this mutual respect that they entrust the outcome of their battle to the judgment of the gods, Elbaf. For the warriors of Elbaf, pride takes precedence over life. Loki too seems his opponent, even a wolf, as both a warrior and a friend. But Loki doesn't stop at saying, "That's just fate," he adds like this. "There's a sadness, there's anger, and I'll take this anger and destroy the world with it." Loki isn't indifferent to the wolf's death, it fuels his anger. This shows he possesses very human emotions. Despite his outwardly savage and reckless demeanor, as Mosako pointed out, Loki hides a core of kindness beneath his rough exterior. This brings to mind a man who holds exact opposite philosophy but still admires the warrior of Elbaf, Usopp. In Wano country, Usopp says, "I'll cling to life even with snot dripping from my nose. No matter how pathetic it looks, I'll live. I'll keep living. It's because I've survived that I'm here now." Despite his determination to prioritize survival over pride, Usopp's admiration for the warrior of Elbaf, who valued pride above all else, highlights an interesting tension in his character. How he reconciles these conflicting values in the future will be worth watching. This is Elbaf arc. And I personally like how Loki refers to the wolf simply as wolf, in Japanese, Okami. Without giving it a specific name, it reminds me of Luffy. Luffy also tends to use straightforward terms like calling Shushu, dog, or Beppo, polar bear, in Japanese, Shirokuma. What's fascinating is that Luffy's approach changes when he forms an emotional connection. For example, when he first met Laboon at Twin Cape, he consistently called him Whale, in Japanese, Kujira. Just Whale. However, after hearing about Brook's promise with Laboon, Luffy stops calling him Whale, Kujira, and instead calls him by his name, Laboon. In chapter 1134, Luffy greets Sol, emphasizing how deeply he values not just his crewmates, but also the important people and brings connected to them. It feels like Oda Sensei is subtly highlighting this trait in Luffy's character. Anyway, there are a few other unique nuances and expressions in the Japanese version that differ from the English translation in the chapter 1136, which I haven't covered in this video. So I plan to explain these in more detail on my Patreon page in written form. Although the content is primarily for members, it will be freely available until the chapter 1137 is officially released. Next Monday. So if you are interested in gaining a deeper understanding of the Japanese version of One Piece, please check it out. For members, I've been providing the detailed explanation of past chapters in the Japanese version and hosting exclusive live streams sometimes. Since I limit the number of members to make it easier to remember everyone's name, please join as soon as possible if you are interested in. Anyway, see you next video.